Good morning, everybody. You are listening to the Cindy Cochran Show every morning, Monday through Friday, 10 to 11. And I just wanted to let you all know that on my Facebook page, I have the link to Monday's show. If you missed Who Done It, it's there for you to click on or cut and paste or whatever you want to do and listen to that. But I'm going to have channels on. I have a channel now on YouTube and on SoundCloud. And so you go to my channel, subscribe, please, and I'll let you know when all the archive stuff comes up. And we try and get it done within 48 hours. That's the hope. That's the prayer. That's what we're trying to do. And but anyway, so that's there. And also, I want to remind everybody that Friday, we have Connor Halstead coming in, and we're going to have Jimmy the C, our sports guy. He's been moved to Friday, and we'll do some weekend stuff. What's going to happen on the weekend and all, and what's coming up. And Connor's going to be here to talk movies. Connor is a youth minister, but this guy is all up in about the movies. He knows what movies are going on and all. Of course, he has to, because he has to tell his young people, don't go see this. This isn't good for you. This is okay. No. But if you ask him, he will be able to tell you. The parents can come ask him, hey, my kids wanted to go see, Deadpool. Should I really let them go see it? And I have to say, absolutely not. But that's what Samuel wants to be, Deadpool, for Halloween. And after, hearing about this movie and what kind of image that may portray, I don't know if that's a good one or not. But if you guys... And since Halloween is coming up so fast now, this is like on top of us, is that go to the spirit of Halloween and scare your children, and they'll always listen to you next time you say, I don't want to go in there. It's kind of scary. I don't think we should go in there. And they're going to want to go because they've heard their friends go, and you go in there and it just scares them to death. Now, if you're a scaredy cat, don't go in there. Don't go in there. But they've got costumes for everything. I mean, for everything, everybody. They've got costumes that you go like, what? Nobody would wear that. But they do. But they're pretty expensive, though. And Samuel wanted a costume that was like $55. And I said, for one night? And he goes, no, I could wear it throughout the, if you maybe wear it sometime during the week or something like that. But the costume was called the Death of Evil or Evil's Death or something like that. But it was a really outrageous, scary, dark costume. And so I told him, I don't think you'll be wearing that to church or anything. So I'm not going to spend that much money on some of the costumes you want. Now, Pokemon, those kind of things, which the kids in middle school really like. They like Pokemon. They are into that. And I thought they'd be out of playing with that. But, oh, man. And there are clubs. There's the cards and comic place here in Conroe that they meet every Thursday night. And they have this group that comes together, and they all know about each other, and they know what's going on in the underground of Pokemon. And so they sit down and they trade and they play and they battle. I didn't even know you could battle with that little mouse, but Pikachu. That's all I've learned is Pikachu. Samuel has about 150 cards, and every card has a meaning behind it. And I sit there and I know there's no presence of spirit in my eyes as I watch this, as he takes them. And I just go, wow, oh, really? And so I've learned those as all the words he needs for me to say. And sometime I ask him, I said, what do you mean evolution? Evolution? Are you talking about evolution? No, Grandma. No, it's not evolution. It's evolution. And so he has to instruct me on all these things. Now, I've been through all of his, Minecraft and the Skylanders. And I have a sister right here helping me. Skylanders. And it's so funny to be, the age I am and have to go up and ask for something that has the weirdest names to it. And I thought that was that was so funny when my grandmother would have to go up and whenever Masters of the Universe, and she'd have to go up and go, I'd like to see what those Skeletors, yeah, the Skeletor, I think that's what he likes. The one that has so she'd learn the names of the different characters and go buy them for the kids, but it was a strange world to her as well. So that just keeps going on. I guess nothing ever changes in that sense, but Halloween is coming up, and I'd love to know what my listeners enjoy about Halloween and what's scary to them. But of course, there's nothing more scary than what's coming up tonight. The final. You just want to do the final countdown. It's going to be the debate of the century. This is the one. Now, I didn't sing the whole song, Cindy. Cindy is my granddaughter, and she's here with me today. And she just got very embarrassed. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Imagine if you get embarrassed what the listeners do. But it is the final countdown for the debate of the century. And this is the one, you got to watch. Plus, it's kind of historic because they ask Fox News to moderate this. Chris Wallace is going to be the moderator. And it's the first time that Fox has ever been involved in this because of the prejudice to Fox and their conservative ways and all this. But anyway, Chris Wallace is just a very cool guy. And you feel like he almost might be tough on Donald Trump because he wants to show there's no bias really in Fox News, which is not true because they certainly do lean and skew Republican. Just like CNN is in the tank for Hillary and MSNBC and all those things. And so you feel like he may try and be really tough on him, but that's what's going to be so much fun to say. And so much has happened. Poor Chris Wallace, he's having to, write these questions out, and things change every single day. Every day something's happened. And, yesterday we were talking about dumping and about how, okay, and how my grandchildren take that another way. A lot of people take that another way, but especially my grandchildren. Every time I hear it on the news, they start laughing. But WikiLeaks and the dumps that they have made with all these outrageous emails from Hillary Clinton. And, CNN said, it's unlawful for you guys to even read that. You shouldn't even be reading any of those WikiLeaks emails. That's so, I just can't believe they would be that silly to think that people have something they're going to be able to read what somebody was privately texting back and forth or emailing back and forth. And to me, it's just, the stupidity of the people that put something like that in writing and send it to another person. And it has to do with our election, with very important things, Benghazi, Libya, all the things that Hillary Clinton was involved in and was controversial. And then she was called to give the Congress the 33,000 emails, and before it was just like right after they had sent the subpoena for those emails, she destroys all of them. They're all destroyed. And so there we are, wondering, wishing we knew what was all in those emails. And once Congress calls for it and all that, and stuff becomes public record, then we get to read that. But WikiLeaks is like, we don't redact anything. We're going to give you the raw emails that went on between a lot of these people, and you're just shocked and go like, what? But there's so much coming at everybody. There's so much happening every day. And they announced there was going to be another massive dump from Assange. I just keep saying that because it just cracks my granddaughter up. But I gotta relate something to that. His internet has been cut off, so there's not much he can do right now. Something's happening in the Ecuadorian place where he's staying, and he's staying there, to try and keep his life from being taken from him. So. Anyway, we don't know what's happening, but they did cut off his email account and his internet because they said that he was interfering with the United States election. So we wonder if John Kerry, our Secretary of State, might have had some pressure put on Ecuador to stop the emails coming out right now, right before the election. So I don't know. I think we've got enough to try and digest and process. But speaking of dumps, it was pretty funny because on the Drudge Report, it shows Hillary Clinton's bus took a huge dump on the street because in their bus released all of the waste material that was in there. They had to call out the hazmat to come pick this up. And what a dirty job the hazmat people have. But anyway, they had to clean it all up. And there we are, the environmentalists, champions for the environment. And there she lets all that out on the street. So that was kind of a dirty thing. But there's more dirty things. There's just more dirty laundry, more dirty everything that is out there for us. And we're going to be discussing that coming up in this next segment. We're going to talk about the debate and talk about what's up and see who's listening to who and what the Inquirer came out with that will just blow you away. Okay, listen. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. And you know what? It's real reality radio. Don't play.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Lone Star Community Radio is FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1, coming in June of 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk and music shows on YouTube, cable TV, and Our City TV, we are offering special sponsorships rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcast. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like the one you're listening to online at irlonestar.com/sponsor or call the station at 936-647-5747. Reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
You're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Oh, yeah. Real reality radio. Yes, we are right here. And now most of the time, we talk about everything under the sun on the Cindy Cochran Show. If you're just joining us and listening in for the first time, we do. We talk about everything. I love to talk about politics. I love to talk about spiritual things. The two things that your mom told you do not talk about in public because you'll get yourself in trouble. And boy, there's no more evidence of that than for this election period because people, just when we talked about this on Monday, that people are not putting signs on their cars anymore in their yard or, anywhere. And I told you I got this great T-shirt done. It said Trump's adorable, deplorable. And nobody would let me wear it out because they were afraid that I come back home. And so there's fear out there that if you side one way or the other, something's going to happen to you. There was also evidence of that yesterday on a video on Judge Report that showed this guy he wanted to make a point about how kind of dangerous this is. He parked a car in a neighborhood that wasn't, the healthiest of neighborhoods to probably be in. It didn't seem like, you'd ever park your car.
Right?
What?
That was debunked.
That those guys came...
Yeah,
no,
that wasn't a real video.
No, that was real video.
Well, the guy who puts it together, that's what he does.
No, that was excellent. And what I'm saying is the guys...
There'll be a lot more hatred in that video than just kind of like, oh, this door... And especially he put, Donald Trump bumper stickers all over it. No one in their right mind would do that.
No, but that's what he was trying to show. If you put stickers on your car and stuff like that, and you're in
but that video wasn't real. You're behind the times, Cindy.
Oh, my word. It was real. It was real. Did they beat up the car?
No, that was all a facade.
Right. They beat the car up.
But they were paid to do it.
Their pants were falling down. You see all their underwear. I would think that if they were going to do this.
They're paid to do it. That's what YouTubers do these days like that. They do the shock thing, and they try to get their 200,000 views, and then they make money off of it.
And just ruined the car.
So
Or in the car. Now, do you believe? I believe it's real in the sense, Richard, is that if someone did that, that's what's happening to people that do display their allegiance to Donald Trump. Do you believe that none of the people that have gotten hurt by having Donald Trump shirts on?
Oh no, I
or any
think
of that?
that's they have several other. That's what I was saying. I don't know why you're focusing on that one instance.
Well,
That's that was totally staged. This other stuff out there, people getting beat up. That's real stuff. That's pretty crazy.
It is.
So,
but this was an example. I thought it was a good example of don't put stuff on your car because this could happen to you. However, he did it. Even if he did it and he ruined that car, just destroyed that car, and thought that was going to be worth the money to do that. But it was horrible looking. And if you want to look at it and then see what you feel, if you felt like, did you get played? If you thought that was real, I got played. I totally got played.
well, I mean, one thing you need to learn, Cindy.
Yes.
And I think everybody in this country or in the world needs to learn. Whenever someone makes a claim like that, you always gotta follow the money.
Follow the money.
So
you're right. You're
the guy,
so right.
that man, I forgot what his name was, something Salad, and that's what he does. He creates videos that spark people's interests, and that's all he does. That's what he does for a living. So,
did you see that Michael Moore came out and said he has the Donald Trump film he's getting ready to release right before the election that will destroy Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, everyone has footage of something. I mean, we literally
film.
There's film of this group committing crimes against people and didn't do anything for Hillary supporters. So I mean, they have proof now that it wasn't Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump causing the Chicago riots that hurt those policemen. It was Hillary Clinton and her campaign. It wouldn't hurt probably directly, but it was her campaign.
Yes.
So, I mean, no one's going to do anything about any of this, except Donald Trump, of course. He's probably going to get arrested. So,
why would he get arrested? Why?
Because that's who's in charge. I mean, if anything, this is showing how if whoever's in charge can do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if you're Hillary Clinton. I mean, come on. Like my favorite one yesterday at church, I thought I sent it to you, was the Obama saying the FBI files were incorrect. About the quid pro quo, and I'm like, wait a second, man! It says it in the interview on this 302 that it says it, and I mean that gives you an idea of how deterring everything is going to be made towards this. So.
Wouldn't you start with that? Wouldn't you start with that in the debate? If you were Donald Trump, I don't care what he asks you. If he asks you what color socks you're wearing, I want to know.
No, the only thing, if I was Donald Trump, I'd bring up the obvious corruption and colluding between the higher ups in this process, not focusing on his election, but like the election process. Look how long they've been using these practices for local elections, state elections, and all that stuff. And I mean, I think that's pretty huge.
Right.
And all this stuff is coming out where people are, pay to play, quid pro quo. Right. I mean, this is how our higher ups are handling this situation.
Well, and her,
that's what I would bring up to her, and I'm like, I would even tell her, I was like, how are you going to clean this up? Because you're part of it,
right?
So how do you're going to excuse yourself?
Yeah, and Patrick Kennedy being one of your top guys there.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we saying here?
Did you hit? But the spin that the State Department put on it was so funny. It's like, and the reporters are going, wait a minute, let me read this again to you. This says, well, I don't know who that agent was, and that could have been like it's like a rogue agent. It wasn't somebody.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why there. I mean, that's one thing that's one thing I love about this whole scenario with these 33,000 emails is there's a reason why they were deleted, and I don't know really what the reason is, but it's enough to be put in jail for, because
right.
I mean, the links. One thing I wish people would do, I wish they would watch the oversight committee hearings, like online. Yes. You can watch them. You can stream them on YouTube.
Yeah,
and
C-SPAN,
you can stream.
Yeah.
You can stream pretty much any type of governmental process.
Right.
And I love hearing because when they do an oversight committee, it's like half Democrats, half Republicans. Of course, there might be a couple of independents or whatnot, but it's amazing to me that you in this scenario you have the Republicans who are constantly asking questions to Comey. In this whole process, and like even one of my favorite things was the website Reddit got brought up, and I found that I was there for. I don't know if you heard about what happened. Was one of the IT technicians who was working for the Net Software, who was part of the deletion police.
Right.
He went on Reddit, because I go on Reddit to ask questions about radio stuff, and like he went on Reddit to ask questions about how to remove a VIP from an email string. And like, I'm not kidding you. And someone, like random person, because basically what he was asking was, in the way email works for a company, you have a server, and everyone's familiar with servers and everything. But they were using this program called Exchange. And Exchange is a Microsoft program where it manages a large, like it manages me. Like we have it here, only for like 3 people, but it can go up to thousands of people. But what it does is it creates a data file after it sends, and you back up everything. What they wanted to do is get that backup, because they had to hand over this backup. They had to hand it over.
Right.
But what they wanted to do is they wanted to go in and remove a VIP's email address from all the emails. But you can't do it because it's already created backup. So he was trying to find a way, like, because think about going through each email and deleting your VIP.
Yes.
VIP. He said very VIP. Like, he even said, like, it's VIP, very, very VIP. And they found out it was this guy. It was O'Keefe. I can look up his name. No, it wasn't O'Keefe. I'll find his name. But, yeah, they found out it was him. And so he literally goes on Reddit and deletes everything. And
now the bleach bit.
He's the part of the company that they use bleach bit.
Okay, and then that like forever erases the email. No, being able to bring it back.
BleachBit deletes everything on a computer, not email. Like, so if you have emails on the computer,
it's gone.
It deletes the whole hard drive, where the hard drive can't even be like recovered.
Right.
So, and that. I mean, to me, if you're an IT person, I think every IT person knows she's guilty, just from that. Because the fact that anybody uses that software, that's telling you something right there. Because it's you can't recover it. So
one of the guys emailed to a fellow employee of this and says, "You know what? I think we're getting into some illegal stuff here." That was found that they knew something was up, and they were doing something illegal because it was so creepy. And they called it was creepy, but we're talking about
Paul Combetta. Look him up. That's his name. Paul like comb, like and then Betta. So Combetta. And you look him up, and it's really funny because he's one of the people who pled the fifth or whatever and didn't show up and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and
how are you saying his name?
Combetta.
I think
Combetta.
It seemed like they said it different. I didn't recognize that when you said that.
But yeah, he's a young guy. And what I love is everyone – the internet's great, by the way. And they found this guy. He wrote fantasy pornography, like what do you call it? Like the racy novels.
Yeah.
He wrote that stuff. And so they found out who he was. They found out whose username, like what aliases he uses online. And they brought up all this stuff that he did. And he starts and what's funny is people started saving the posts because they knew he was going to delete them. And so like in the oversight committee, they actually mentioned this post. And I'm going to pull up the post for you because here it is. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
So on July 24th, I think it was like 3 days after they requested everything.
Right.
2014, hit the username Stone Tier. This is what he posts. He's like, "Hello all. I may be facing a very interesting situation where I need to strip out a VIP's, very VIP in parentheses, email address from a bunch of archived emails that I have both on Live Exchange Mailbox, that's the Microsoft program, as well as PST files, which is the backup program. Basically, they don't want the VIP's email address exposed to anyone. They want to be either able to strip out or replace the email with another email address. I'm not sure if this is something possible with PowerShell, which is a program that handles like a lot of like Excel formats, or exporting all the emails to an MSG file and doing it, replacing from batch processing program, kind of like find and replace like in Word. Does anyone have an experience with this? And apparently on July 23rd, the day before, the House Select Committee of Benghazi had reached an agreement with the State Department and to produce all these records. And so,
wow, that's amazing.
And this is the same guy who went in front of it's
and then didn't show up. And it's like,
no, that was his partner.
Okay, but why would they give immunity to somebody so that they can say whatever they want to say and they will not be prosecuted? What do they have on them that they sit it out. They just they don't show up, and Congress can't do anything about it. Because they can't arrest anyone. That's not what they can do. But it would seem like surely this would be like a real show of guilt, and it's amazing to me. But don't you think that there's so much coming at people? Just like the WikiLeaks thing, all the WikiLeaks dumps, it's happened and over again. And then the FBI comes out with papers that are just more incriminating, just as not more important, incriminating. And what we were talking about a while ago was that the one of her senior people, Patrick Kennedy, in the State Department, they've been wanting to figure out a way to change up the classifications on her emails. And so somebody from the FBI had been calling them, wanting to get more FBI agents out into countries, foreign countries, that they hadn't been able to get into, and they wanted them to do something about it. So he calls that guy and said, let's make a deal. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. Quid pro quo.
The Cindy Cochran Show. Real reality radio.
Lone Star Community Radio is on FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, coming in June 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk show and music shows on YouTube and cable TV, we are offering special sponsorship rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcasts. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like this one you're listening to right now online at irlonestar.com/sponsor. Or call the station at 936-647-5747. Reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show. The first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
And you're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Oh, yeah. There's so much to talk about. I mean, I see why Rush has to have about 3 or 4 hours to talk about this stuff, because there's just so much going on, and we're all in a panic mode. Because
I just wish there was a good news source that wasn't biased. Because Rush Limbaugh is an idiot.
No, he is not an idiot.
Yeah, I take
not.
that back. He's very smart about manipulating. Like, kind of like how that video of that guy doing that car beat up video. Like, they're good at manipulating people's feelings, and making the agenda fit their mindset,
right? Similar
to Hillary Clinton. But I really wish, like, one of my favorite people are people who reports Democracy Now! I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's on PBS, and the lady who's the main person, she got arrested for doing the pipeline coverage over the Dakota pipelines. Have you heard about this?
No.
I'm looking up her name because I always forget her name. She, you know what's going on with Dakota and the pipelines and over there in the Indian lands and stuff.
Right.
Well, she went there to cover it, and they arrested her. And the DA tried to file riot inciting charges against her and trespassing and all that stuff. And she's covered under, like, she's a journalist.
That's right.
And it was the case, like, the DA actually was going to throw her in jail. And she, of course, the higher judge goes, no, that's her right. She had a microphone. She had a camera. She had a camera crew. So clearly she was covering it. And so it was pretty funny. But Amy Goodman, now she's very liberal.
Yeah.
And if you look her up, she's she's almost libertarian, almost like she's like a libertarian conservative, but I bet she's voting for Hillary, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
I think you're probably right.
Her coverage is really good. And, like, that's, to me, is a good example of, like, a good coverage of a news story and things like that.
Well, but if you go, because I watch C-SPAN, and C-SPAN, the stuff is coming straight out of their mouth, and you're seeing it live, and it's, something that they just got a camera locked on. There's no editing being done as it comes out of their mouth. It's a good way to look at stuff and hear things that are going on. And then when you see it in the media and you see, like, wait, that's not what he said.
It's similar to the FBI document we're talking about, because you could argue the way it's worded, quid pro quo, didn't happen. It might have been suggested, but it was hearsay. So it was like one guy saying, they approached us and they wanted to work towards a quid pro quo system. But
how's it hearsay when it's in the document?
Because the document at 302 is an interview.
Right.
So it's just that comes from a guy who he could be wrong or could be right. I mean, you don't really know what he was really saying in a sense. Like, when people are interviewed by people, it's like, oh, they'll say anything. So that's why you could argue. I mean, there's not definite proof, but it brings up the question. And they're trying to, he gave a name, which is different. Like, he actually gave a name of somebody who approached him.
Right.
But it didn't happen. They said it didn't happen in the 302. Like, they didn't do a quid pro quo, but it was suggested. Yeah. So, but see that right there, he could just be saying that because he hates that Kennedy guy. And so they're really, and because Kennedy guy could just go, no, I never said that. Mm-hmm. And there you go. It's like there's no proof. Like that's what I'm saying hearsay. Like you don't. That's it. Right. So when people start arguing about that, it's a little weird. But when people start saying it's like it never happened, I'm like, well, someone suggested it apparently, or someone was talking about it. So don't.
Well, when the president says that the FBI documents were wrong.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. You don't word it like that. You don't say it's wrong. You're just saying that interview that was mistaken. Like that they followed up and they did their job and nothing came from it. Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's how it works. And you don't have to say they're wrong.
Right, but he has interjected himself into this election.
Well, that's what
he's really trying to protect Hillary.
And that's why I love what Donald Trump did. Like I think about 2 days ago, he has a 5-point plan to put in cleaning up government, basically. Right. And one of his rules is if you run for an official office, you can't be a lobbyist ever.
Yeah, it's like 5 years after
you can't be a lobbyist. Yeah. So I was like, why is that not already a rule?
Right.
And, and then other special interest groups, and you can't, for 5 years, you can't run any type of campaign in foreign affairs after you serve, because he's trying to, to me, that's, you're stopping the gears.
Big time. Big time. And term limits would stop to a lot of stuff. He's saying 5 years?
I wouldn't. Term limits, sunset rules should be applied to pretty much our entire government, in my opinion. Maybe not so far as the Bill of Rights or the amendments, but there should be something where we revisit things, because our Bill of Rights is pretty great. We're going to hold on to those because those are our rights. Right. But the amendments and things like that, those might need to be looked at. So, like similar to, getting rid of alcohol, then amending that amendment. Like that's And then pretty much all our amendments I think are okay. I think the gun laws need to be kind of looked at, but
the forefathers, our forefathers.
Yeah, but those are it's over 200 years old.
No, what I'm saying is they never would have thought that they would have had to put in there specifically that you are only allowed to stay in office until this time, because the people that came in and worked and served as a congressman or a senator and all that had a life, and they came in and then they were ready to go. They wanted to go home. They just wanted to come in and serve their country, and they were patriots and all that. But now it's a career, and it's something that they do forever, and you can't get rid of them. And so if they had the term limit where, okay, you've messed up 2 years, luckily there's only 4 years that a president can come in and just destroy things, but and that they can get voted again. So 8 years is a long time to mess things up, and that we have to recover from, as we're going to find out now. But I think that because Obama has so, showered her with praise, saying she's the most experienced woman or person running for the presidency of the United States that we've ever had. I couldn't even believe that came out of his mouth, and he still was smiling, and he said that. And because of her experience, and it's just exactly what we've talked about in the shows before, is that just because you've done something for 30 years doesn't mean you did it well or you did it right. That's what you have to look at, is what are your accomplishments? What have you done for the country to make the country safer, richer? And it's not there. People can't answer that question about her. She started out her career trying to help children and get children in schools, and did try and help feeding children and that kind of thing. She did that in the starting. But something happened to her. Her evolution, like the Obama would talk about, just went awry. And she became so, it's like she's real paranoid. She's very insecure, and what's going to be found out about her. And she's trying to be so protective of that the things that she has done and succumbed to, saying like, I'll go along with this. For instance, Benghazi. To me, I mean, she had me at this point when we knew it wasn't the video. And we knew that. Everybody around, I mean, even before we found out that she had sent an email to her daughter and the Libyan and Egyptian hierarchy saying it wasn't a video, we had an attack on us, and explained that. She said that to her daughter and them. But she turned around, and for the next 5, 6, whatever days it was, just kept talking about this, the video, and that we're going to get this guy and all that. And went even to when they brought the bodies in of the people that were killed in Benghazi, who had for 600 times asked the State Department to please protect them and send them more protection. And it didn't happen. And then they started lying about this video to cover up, because there was an election year. Yeah, it was election year, imagine. And so she goes up to one of the mothers of one of the heroes, the brave heroes that had died, and leans over and whispers in her ear, "We're going to get this guy who made the video." I at that point, when that mother said that, and for her to try and diss this lady and say, she didn't, I never said that. She must have heard me wrong. Like right there, right then, she should have been taken off the stage and said that you will never get back on a public stage or do any kind of public service, because you just did a public disservice by lying to the mother of this slain hero, and continue to lie to the American people and make doofuses of us for thinking we're going to believe her, and sending out the minions to go out and do this. Obama as well. She's not qualified to be the commander-in-chief. If somebody that she probably couldn't even get the security, knowing what she's been through with the FBI and how badly she mishandled all the information she had in her hands and was not even paying attention to, and just can't recall anything that she did wrong in, our security for this country. And that's the person, that's not a role model for my daughter, my granddaughter, to say, I want you to be just like that lady who lies to the people and lies and does all this deceitful stuff. That's what I want you to be like. So I just want to puke when I see the commercials where she's talking about Donald Trump being such a horrible role model for girls.
Well, that's what blows my mind is Donald Trump's been in the spotlight for at least 30 years.
Right.
And none of this kind of the scale or accusations have been repeated until now about him being a racist, to me, I started doing, old newspapers and see what people said. Of course, he's been sued before, but he's usually won about 80% of the time when you own a business that big and you're dealing with customer service and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But, that to me was the most telling thing about the overreaching of people saying he's a racist. I'm like, that's your interpretation. But, why all of a sudden do you think he's a racist when he's been around for 30 years? And to me, that's kind of strange, because he wouldn't be successful if he was called out as a racist 30 years ago.
Oh, sure.
He might be successful in some other words, but it'd be so obvious that he is such a horrible person that, when it got to this point, no one called him a racist before he was the primary.
No, but Richard, when you saw all of the anchor people and all the people in the news, we're going to talk about this when we come back from this break, about the righteous indignation they've had. I was just laughing. Okay, let's go to break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio. Don't go away.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
We're starting to film our talk shows and putting them on YouTube. Your favorite Lone Star Community Radio show can be seen on YouTube under our Lone Star Community Radio channel and on City of Conroe's Our City TV channel on Suddenlink Channel 12. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see the most recently released videos and find more information online at irlonestar.com/TV.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
And you're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Boy, we've had fun talking about the debate. It's going to be tonight. It'll be at 8 o'clock our time. And Fox is running it, but I think they show it on all the stations. But
Well, they're having the moderator.
yeah, they're having the moderator, but they air it on everybody. Everybody airs it. I think it's but you got to figure out which station do you want to listen to the recap of it. That's what's so bad. I listen to these debates and I listen to every word, hang on every word of the debate. And then for the next 2 or 3, 4 days, you know, the news stations, they just keep playing all these clips, and I'm going like, I've heard all this before. See now, but that's what, you know, Brianna was talking about. I only watch the highlights of the debate. But is there a certain station that you like better than another about what they talk about afterwards?
I don't listen to any. I don't watch any TV when it comes to that stuff. What I'll do is I'll go online and read what people are saying.
Oh, okay.
I like reading internet comments, and some of them are really great, some are really bad. And like my favorite one was like the original fact checking deal.
Oh, was that hilarious?
Like,
that was hilarious.
Well, I mean, like, it gets me thinking, and this is one thing I wish they would have done with debates, because they don't do. I mean, debates, the presidential debates are so stupid.
They're not debates.
Well, they're not debates. Yeah, I mean, like, you really, how hard is it to get a law professor from Yale to sit up there and be like, "Here we go. Here are the questions, and let's have a debate."
Right.
And like, I'm talking traditional, what kids in high school and do for debate.
Right.
And that, to me, that is to be a better program. I mean, like, they have the town hall meeting style debate, which is great, but to me that's just so finicky. And I mean, you don't know who these people are, and I mean, come on, does anyone trust the media these days? Like,
no,
one
there's no
trusts.
trust.
I mean,
but listen, when I was in 9th grade, I debated a guy about if it'd be possible to have a woman president. What would that look like? And would anybody ever vote for a woman for president? And it was such a horrible even title for it. But I chose to debate this guy, and they were all like, "Oh, yeah," they made fun of me, and like, "No, there's never going to be a woman president," and all that. So I laid out my strategy and told him why this was right, and he would come and talk about.
Did it include like having a foundation that you can funnel money through, and then using strings for your husband?
Listen. If you're, imagine being a woman in there and having all that power, and all access to money, and all access to meeting whoever you ever wanted to meet, all that access to find out, were there really aliens? Did we really find, aliens, and we've got them kept somewhere? And okay, no, I'm just saying that I laid out the strategy and explained why a woman would be better because of her temperament, her nurturing, part of her that men do not have, and that she would be great. Anyway, so I did it. I won the debate, but it was just like you said. The debate is back and forth, and you have to prove the points of the question that was asked. And they've learned how to pivot like little kids in the schoolyard, saying, "Oh yeah, well, you know what he did," and they just start on some other topic that is just totally off the subject. And I think that's what makes it interesting, is to see, and it's going to be so much fun. I mean, I get my popcorn, I get everybody, we gather around the TV to watch this, and it's fun. It's a fun family thing to, well, most of it is unless they get down and dirty. But this is a fun family thing to watch.
Have you seen those O'Keefe videos?
Yes, and that's what we've got to talk about that tomorrow. I'm trying to get one of the Republican National, our headquarters is right here, right 2 blocks away. I'm trying to get one of those guys to come over and let them review the debate and talk about the debate. And you guys, anytime you want to jump in on this conversation, you go to the Cindy Cochran Show Facebook and go to messages, click on messages, and then write me your message, and I'll be able to read it on the air and talk about it, and we'll discuss it. And so if you want to do that, please do that. And I forgot to talk about that in the beginning of the show. Sorry. But anyway, okay, tomorrow we'll be back and we'll, thrash through, go through, and just totally pick apart the debate and what Hillary was wearing. Okay, so guys, don't go away. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, and I'll be back tomorrow. We're here every morning, Monday through Friday. Listen, it's real reality radio. Go be nice to somebody.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schisler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schisler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.